Hey, DeRacers. So real quick, I'm kind of back. My wife and I just had our second child, so sleep deprived. Haven't been on a Discord as much, but we're going to be back to talk about this topic because this was quite exciting, and even I couldn't get away from my phone last week. But if you were paying attention, you may have seen that Dirk has 5 to 7x'd in a matter of a week. So we were around that 12 cents markings, and then it jumped up confidently to that 55 cents, and it shot up as high as I think 75 cents. And everybody was talking about it on Discord, trying to figure out what in the world's going on. And there's a couple talking points that are really important to bring up today, so that way the gamers that are invested in this project have access and understand what's happening, so we could take advantage of this as things continue to flourish.
Yeah, and along with the price increase, we saw varying price points, and this can happen anytime there's a ton of people trying to get in, buying a limited number of available tokens for any coin out there. So we saw it happen with Dirk, where 1 minute you're looking at it and it's 50 cents, and the next minute you're looking at it and it's upper 60s, and then it can flash crash back down to mid 50s and then back up to the 70s again. So these numbers that we're throwing around, we recognize that they do bounce, and on the different platforms, they're going to be different price points as well. So that's something that we just want to point out. We also want to point out that everything we're saying in this video is not financial advice. We are not going to be telling you that you should have bought at this point or you should sell at that point. That's not what this is about. You guys know us. We're in the game itself. We want to talk to you from the point of view of someone who's playing the game, not paying as much attention to the token itself.
Yep. This would be more about the general economics and what's going to be available to you, or what we think is going to be coming soon. But let's do a really fast recap. If we go back about 8 years, when the big cycle where Bitcoin shot up to around 20,000, that was mostly the fight for the store of value. And back then, smart contracts were really not that popular. ETH had been coming up. Then you started to see ETH become the biggest in the smart contract world. But then you have Cardano, you have Polkadot, you have Polygon, and all the others that started to appear to compete. Then you fast forward to our most recent cycle that we went through. And that, I think, would be more of the smart contract era, where everybody was battling out. Bitcoin obviously won that one as a store of value. And then you saw all of these new smart contracts get strong. During that period of time, NFTs became a part of the ecosystem because smart contracts allowed for that. Then, of course, the NFT world, we all saw it, or those that have been following with us, skyrocketed, and then they've all almost gone down to not zero, but very close to it. And I think it's due to mostly the industry was brand new, got oversaturated quickly, and a lot of these projects died. So now we fast forward to this upcoming cycle that everybody's anticipating. What traditionally happens is the biggest guy gets it. So Bitcoin will see it surge usually, and then it follows by the smart contracts. And I think right now what's happening is a lot of the traders are anticipating that in this wave, that the NFT GameFi world is going to be the next one that's going to really see a chance for a 20 to 100x.
Yeah, I want to point out too that it's not always just the GameFi tokens themselves. It could be the entire platforms that are housing all of the different elements that would go into GameFi. But GameFi does seem to be the one with I think the greatest opportunity for increase, at least in this next wave. So yeah, it's something that we see obviously being a part of DeRace, but there's trickle effects with partnerships that DeRace is going to make, and with other elements in the ecosystem, larger ecosystem itself, that will play into how DeRace goes up or down at any given time.
Now, I've been tracking a lot of stuff on this just because managing our YouTube and doing what we got to do on that. But there's been more not companies, but channels that have been talking about DeRace. They're talking about how 2024, 2025 this is going to be a project that can 20x, 100x. I don't recognize any of these people from the community. So these guys are all outside that are looking into the project as it is. So us being active gamers, enjoying the game and trying to build a community to have fun, that's one major part of this. But when we start seeing these people that are outside of our own community world talking about our project possibly blowing up and ours as a collective whole, it just starts to make me realize that, hey, there's more people than just the gamers here. And when they're looking at projects, DeRace, for all the faults that we criticize with them, they have stood by the community and they've tried to build and they've survived. And they look like they're going to survive this bear market quite well. A lot of other ones didn't. So when you take a list of, let's say 100% of these games, how many of them are going to survive to this bull run? And I think people are seeing DeRace poised in a position that it's going to make it. And so if DeRace does succeed, we are a tiny market cap. I think we're around like 60 million, maybe even less at the time of this video. So when you talk about some of the market caps of the other coins, it could be a very easy opportunity. I say 3 to 5x, and I'm excited, but people say I'm being really bullish with that. And just to let you know, there's a lot of people outside of what we see in Discord and what we see inside the game that are looking at this project with a lot of opportunity. And I think that's where the money is coming in from.
Yeah, now let's talk a little bit about an opportunity. And this is something that you may have seen in the community. It's talked about a lot. It's not really easy right now to get your Dirk from the ETH network over to the Polygon network. There's just no bridge right now, right? So something that the community is obviously going to be clamoring for, and something that's going to be needed, obviously, as we get more and more people interested in the game itself, is a way for people to onboard from the Ethereum network straight into Polygon. And ideally, that's something that DeRace takes on themselves. We don't have any insider information on that, but it would be something that would be incredible to be able to bring those people in quickly. They buy on the Ethereum network. Maybe they just jump straight in. They know nothing about it. But if you can get them to slide straight into the game, and if you pair this with something like an in-game marketplace, which we know is coming, you pair that, and now they can instantly buy a horse. They can instantly load up their Dirk wallet and start racing within minutes, really, of even becoming aware of the program. This game's going to change if that bridge exists. And we know that's a major opportunity. There's tons of other opportunities as well. And I know you wanted to talk about those.
Yeah, like the one other thing I would say to this one too is like the one things that we do know is the tournaments are coming. We have testnet access, and we're trying to collaborate with them to see if how can we then move some of our things into this. So DeRace getting positioned to have tournaments and greater gameplay for all of us players is great. The other benefit to this is that, like, if people are showing up with their horses and if they're buying up the floor, and we all know that they're not buying up champions, they're buying their starter horses, the tournaments are going to give people an opportunity to win and actually earn off of the play. So if we have people that are coming in with more money that are snatching up assets to go and try to compete in these tournaments that hopefully have bigger prize pools, it might mean that the community is going to expand as we're starting to get these people easier onboarding and better opportunities to earn. It's a really good formula. The other thing, again, non-insider information, I watched that Alex Becker video. This guy, he recently did a post or his video last weekend, and that's when the price went from, I think it was 48 cents to all the way up to like around 75 cents. Big following. And one of the things that he said in there is that his project Neo Tokyo, I think it's just like basically an organization where all the game's set up, not pitching it, don't really know too much about it, but he claimed that he's been talking with DeRace, and he allegedly DeRace will be moving into that. If this is true, it should also give us more exposure to more gamers out there. So when we see a bridge, hopefully will come. A bridge will be really big for multiple reasons. Get more investors to come into the game, and to have like a Neo Tokyo exposure to get more gamers into the play. It will set us up to potentially be poised to do well in a bull run. And if history repeats itself, we should see Bitcoin take the front, and then followed by the smart contract world, followed by the NFT world. And where I get excited is that the bull run is only early into the start, and to see a 5x out of DeRace, it just makes me really excited that we are potentially going to be one of those ones that are going to launch when everything moves down the line to the NFT world.
Yeah, and there's another important aspect that you kind of brought up there. The people that did survive this last downturn, those platforms, those games, the people and systems in that ecosystem are going to be stronger for it. And there's always going to be, in any bull run, there's going to be new games that show up and are flash in the pan, may or may not survive. That's always going to be the case. But the ones that have been building for years are the ones that people are going to recognize. And when they make collaborations amongst themselves, that's so much stronger, because you've already got multiple different cadres of people coming together knowing they can survive something similar. That just provides so much more value for anyone getting into that, because there's crossover between different aspects in the ecosystem. Another thing that we saw happen, and again, we're talking about something that's happened over the last week or so and really kind of got crazy over the last weekend. And it was just a couple of days of really chaos in terms of Dirk token price. There was a really strong interest, very briefly, of people jumping into the game going, hey, what do I buy? And they really didn't know what they should be purchasing. And they may own some of the token, they may not, but they wanted to get a horse. And we saw the floor price, especially for unraced horses, climb almost 50% in a weekend. Now, that settles back down, and that always will. But for those of us in the game that have been breeding, or those of us in the game that have been wanting to sell off some of your horses or breed again, you're going to see a really strong impact on things like liquid love price points. Yes. You're going to see a strong impact on the Gen 1 pricing, especially for unraced horses. And then as fewer and fewer Gen 0s are available, you're going to see those skyrocket in price value, especially when Gen 1s are not able to breed yet. So all of those different elements that we're seeing in the game are going to go up in value. So you that are already in the game, make sure you hold on and ride it up as much as you can.
Absolutely. Now, I want to just touch on something really briefly, more of a not a security, well, kind of like a security. Don't make this mistake. Is I saw conversations on Reddit that took place about this, where keep in mind that Polygon's prices of Dirk is going to be different from the prices on Ethereum. So if you're using a crypto.com or a Coinbase application where you're looking at that and those prices are on the Ethereum chain, you're going to see those prices go up faster just because it's just a lot more access to it. The gamers are on the Polygon side. So if you guys are like us and you've been accumulating Dirk for years and you get really excited and you're going, holy crap, I'm going to go buy X, do not send your Polygon Dirk to your Ethereum wallets. You cannot do that yet. There needs to be that bridge. So don't make that mistake. Do not get emotionally excited when you see that price spike. Know that that bridge must exist so we can move it back over and we can trade it. Otherwise, if you swap it on Polygon, you're going to find out that you're not going to make nearly as much money. It was like a 20-30% lag behind. So don't look at ETH, see the prices, freak out and rush and do something stupid. So don't make that mistake. And then, I want to make a whole video on this one. So we'll probably be doing this soon. But the economics between Dirk price going up and liquid love, and then what that could do to horses. So this is not going to be technical analysis. It's not going to be horse or financial advice on buying horses. It's purely just going to be showing like what supply and demand could look like, how much money needs to get invested in order to be able to play the game at the current rate of which we've been seeing the game being played. So there's really some good things to come. But if you've been dark recently and you're seeing this video, you might want to start paying attention, because when a bridge appears, I want all the gamers to know so we can take advantage of that as best as we can, arbitrage that back and forth. Don't give it away to some people that are out there lurking. Of all the people that deserves this, it's you guys that are watching this. So we want to make sure that you're aware.